Some sensitive people like me have a lot of trouble sleeping at night sometimes. Ideas and clarity are the pills we need to go back to sleep. This next realization helps me when every other idea fails to give me peace. This experience of ego death that I'm about to reenact for you involves a motorcycle ride to the beach, and this experience broke my version of reality and the idea of myself. This experience broke reality, and to see what broke, we need to understand how reality forms in my mind. You may recall from the last video that the ego is the only self-aware part of our personality. It is the rider of the horse of our id and our ego. And the ego forms reality based on two major ideas. The ego looks at the world through a window. It always exists on one side of the window. This is the internal world. And the outside world exists outside the window. The fact that we think that these are two separate things makes our idea of reality real. The objects in it become real because of this separation between the outside and the inside world. I remember this being as the worst time of my life. I had given up on my dreams. I had a shitty job and I couldn't get over my ex-lover. This was the pain that was keeping me up at night. The second idea, which keeps our illusion of reality alive, is the idea of hierarchies. See, whenever we look at anything, like say the word beautiful, we always define the word beautiful against the word ugly. And these two parts are never ever in equilibrium. One idea, one duality is above the other. Soon as I start to become more conscious of these dualities, I slowly felt like everything was dissolving. Everything started to become one. But I was still afraid to look at one duality. One duality I could not look past. I've never ever met a guy who's pushed me enough to follow my own path like you did, and
Johnson, I've had many students in the past, and
I haven't had a student who was more driven or more focused in achieving his purpose than you.
And you've got ideas that I've never ever seen anybody have.
You're one of the greatest guys I've ever come in my life.
And I remember you vividly because I remember you talking about politics and all the issues in the world, and I felt really proud that my student
Was thinking of something like that
doesn't even cross my mind that I can find a guy like you.
ever again.
You're so different.
You're so different. You're so different.
You're so different.
The projections were trying to tell me that I'm different, because the ego doesn't like death. I learned that the idea of me was arbitrary. The idea of me forms because of a supposed separation between the subject and the object. And that separation doesn't actually exist. And that's why the language of ego is always to tell us that we're different through the cars we buy, through the bikes we buy, to the houses that we live in. Everything is a quest to tell us that we exist. And that's why, after this experience and learning the language of ego, I know where to look whenever a new problem comes in my way.